Welcome to another live chat. That's right, it's live! So good to see everyone slowly crawling in. I just realised the intro still has the old logo on it, doesn't it? Maybe we should update that sometime. By we, I mean me. Hi everyone, hello. So, it's me! I just realised how zoomed in this camera actually is. So, we are going to be talking about subs amongst other things today. I can take off the headphones because, as always, I put them on for live chat, but I'm reading your comments, not listening to them. I'm listening to them in the figurative sense of listening and understanding, but not in the literal sense of using my ears. You needed me to tell you that. So let's have a look at everyone saying hi. Mine. Over 600 subs, no BB credits remix. Oh, that's gonna. Yeah, we'll talk about that amongst other things. Probably. Hello, konbanwa. Hey, how you doing, Suzuka, Yui, Mai? You are all three of them. Usually I shorten people's names down to one thing, but because you've got all three of them, I'd have to pick one member of Baby Metal to go with. So I feel bad shortening your name. I'm going to call you SYM. Sim. You're Sim. I'm going to call you Sim now. There we go. Of course, I know your real name, but I'm still going to, that's not the way it works in live chat. Rev, how you doing? You lost 2 viewers during the count. It gave me time to get ready. That's all that matters. I wonder if one of those viewers was me. It probably was me. Probably counted me as a viewer and then I logged out. My phone was logged in and I logged out during the things. And I was one of them probably. Hi Harry, howdy Nguyen. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Let's get this started. I'll be honest with you, I'm looking forward to live chat today. I was going to put a lot more effort into this than I actually did. I did really, I've written 3 great reviews, which are going to be coming out in the next 3 days, hopefully. I know Monday is usually a bit busy. I don't usually put out a review on Monday. However, it's all been written and recorded for that one, so that one should come out. So we've got, basically a review set for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm really excited about them. They're 3 really interesting and different songs. Lots of good stuff there, but I've got to be honest, it's one of our, sometimes you have one of those days where you don't feel great. It's one of those days for me. I'm not feeling so good. So I'm hoping to have a bit of a cheery one. I've got some fun stuff, but I need a little something to drink. So you know how this is going to start, so that I can get myself sorted out. Check out the high production values today for today's Choose My Beer. So here we go. First one is the orange flavoured Chuhai from Sapporo. Good brewer, nice flavour, 9%. That's an interesting one. Second one to choose from, I could go for this one, which is basically a White Russian Japanese style, another 9% Chuhai. It's Chuhai based, not vodka based, but it's also a yogurty style drink. And then option number 3 is the locally sourced beer. I had the black stout version of this last time, but this is their ale. Again, nice can with lots of pictures of stuff on. Only 5%, but a great little interesting one that might be. And another award-winning beer from them, whoever they are. And last but not least is basically just extremely sweet strawberry Chuhai. It is 4%, so it's the weakest of them all, but hey, that might be interesting. Check out my production values and choose my beer. Alright guys, so there you go, you got those. So Sim is trying to make me go towards Suzuka, but I can't. Sim it is. It's too late now. It's too late. Sim it is. Harry's going for the orange. Sim, I'm getting used to calling you that now. I'm going to forgive you for saying in a previous video that the Baby Metal Cami Band are not exceptional musicians. I didn't say that. I did not say that at all. I know the video you're referring to, and I will defend myself by saying okay, maybe actually I maybe shot myself in the foot. Yeah, I said that it's impossible to be exceptional within a genre where exceptional musicianship is the norm. That's what I said. So I was not disrespecting their quality, merely talking about how exceptional musicianship is within such a genre to begin with. Defended. Rev, White Russian in can, that sounds good, other than being in a can. Well, it's not literally a White Russian, but it's kind of like, I always think of it as a Japanese version of White Russian. Always go local, says Floor Bleats. Orange first, then strawberry, make it a fruity day. Anything about going from orange to strawberries, it's going from 9% to 4%. I always find it difficult going from the stronger drink to the weaker drink. Because once you have the stronger drink, you're like, yay! And then you're like, can't taste this. So, especially considering the weaker drink is in the large can. So, we'll have to think about that along the way. Yeah, there is a lot of like seriously low quality stuff coming your way in this live stream. One of them is the wonderful new section, our list, things to do. And this is in relation to the subs count. So as you can see, here we go. Things to do. We have at 700 subs. I think most people have now asked me to, and we've kind of agreed to the fact that it's the Afterlife dance. I think originally I was supposed to do this at 600 subs, but we never really sort of confirmed that. Maybe we did. Maybe I forgot about it. But I seem to remember that it was something that was bouncing around. But anyway, it's been, you guys wanted me to do that dance for a while, so at 700 subs seems a logical conclusion to that. The intro remix was one that was mentioned. I think we talked about that for 1,000 subs, didn't we? But we can think about some stuff for that. But we can fill in this list, think about stuff I can do at 800 subs, 900 subs. Like I say, I'm having a bit of a day, so anything to cheer me up would be very much appreciated. And this could be a bit of a giggle. Okay, make me agree to things that I'll regret later. So we've got that to pick from as well. And furthermore, we get to have a nice time. This is always a disappointment when I do this, so why not it be a disappointment? Again today, we get to go through the local, it's not local, but the free music papers, which as always has loads and loads of stuff in it that probably is no interest to anyone. But hey, we check it out every month, and check it out again we shall. So there you go. Those are some of the things that we'll be diving into today. Have a look and see what everyone's talking about here. Local beer, says Sim. Local ale is at room temperature. It is a bit too cold, unfortunately. Yeah, Japanese people like their drinks cold, but 1,000 subs, Broken by the Scream karaoke. The problem is I'd have to do it twice. I'd have to like layer myself, because that's the thing, is that their music doesn't have proper orders to it. It's just that everything happens at once. So I'd have to go back and first of all sing something and then record over myself screaming. Also, I'd get copyright blocked almost certainly for that. So good idea. I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to be the one that works. So let's have a look at some of the things that people are saying here. Oh, by the way, I was thinking about the copyright thing for the Bandmade thing, doing the little choreograph thing, rather than playing the actual track underneath. You guys might remember from the original iteration of the channel, I used to do those budget instrument covers of songs. I think I'll probably do one of Afterlife, just to put that over the top. So I'll probably end up playing Afterlife on like the ukulele and some 100 yen toy drum kit, just for a bit of a giggle. Hey, it's Max. How you doing, Max? Morning to you too. So Sim says, hello Rev, respect, it's for Keith Moon. Yeah, this is getting a bit of a Keith Moon session going on here. A few people have mentioned about local beer, so I think I'm going to start with the local beer. There was also a couple of mentions for the orange, so I might go local beer and then jump to the orange one in the latter half. I've only got 6 likes. Come on, guys. So long as you're not hating it, drop me a like. It is worth a lot. Let's go for the line. Let's say the line. We're not monetized. And that means we don't get promoted very much. So big thank you to our patrons, obviously, who keep this whole thing going by funding it. But if you want to help, pressing like, especially on the live chats, is a lot of use to us in the algorithm. So please, please, please do consider dropping a like if you are not utterly hating this whole procedure. You are about to watch me drink a beer after all. I don't know what that's got to do with anything, but there you go. All right, let's get the. All right, so there we go. That is our wonderful little locally sourced beer, which is the one that we're going to be drinking first of all. Then a couple of people have mentioned it. That'll do me fine. One of the good things actually, when we get up to 1,000 subs, because we were talking about this, when we get up to 1,000 subs, obviously we'll get back all those features that we lost. You know, like the community page, being able to do like votes and polls. Then I don't have to waste your time. You can choose my beer in advance. Yeah, it'll be kind of 1,000 subs, and plus that means I'll be able to stream mobile, which means when I go to a place like Tokyo, I'll be able to take you around and just walk around with like a phone and just sort of like, you know, do the streaming like that. So a lot of things to look forward to when we get back to 1,000 subs. Let's have a look at what everyone's saying. I'll be screaming just by having to listen to Broken by the Scream song twice. One of the main benefits of doing karaoke is that you don't have to hear the original performance. Ooh. No, I've got nothing against Broken by the Scream as people. That's just want to point that out. The rest you can write for yourself. Thanks, Harry, as always, for dropping the Reddit and Discord links. Gracias. Martin says, drink and drink I shall. Who are your top 5 Japanese female vocalists? Okay, that's a good question. I think number 1 pretty easily I would give to Yuko Suzuhana. I guess, is this talking solely on just what appeals to my personal taste? That's a bit of a difficult one. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to generalise this a little bit somewhere between what I think is best quality and what appeals most for my taste. This is not a definitive list. I still have a lot of respect for Fuki from Unlucky Morpheus and Doll's Box, although I've got to admit a lot of the songs she's on, I'm a little bit 50-50. Some of them I really like, some of them not. I don't think any of her projects have yielded songs that I've been like, wow, I've got to just fall in love with this. But then again, none of her music's particularly bad, but I tend to think she's the best thing in almost everything that she's on, and I just love her voice. So Fuki would be in there. I'm sure I'm going to forget someone who I'm going to really regret forgetting. Solo singer Ayaka. I think her voice is just, oh god, it's just amazing. I mean, I could listen to her just sing. She did a couple of videos which were just her singing a cappella. I was like, I could sit and listen to that. That's fine. Her voice is absolutely mind blowing. So Ayaka would definitely be in there. Who else? I know I'm going to miss someone who I'm going to regret missing. I like a lot of the singers who have like the higher pitched vocals where it's sort of more nimble, and I love that sort of nimble style of singing. Although I really love Oats Grai's voice, I like her more as a writer. I enjoy her singing, but I wouldn't say she's like one of the best singers. It's mainly her writing and musicianship that I really, really love. I'm tempted to say Sue from Silent Siren, which is a strange one because, there are other singers who sing like her, and maybe it would be difficult to say she's the best, but I think she's a great example of that style of singing. I do really like her voice. It's strange. You could just, again, she's one of those things I could just listen to her sing for hours. Psyche's a really easy bet as well. I mean, I think most people knew I was going to include Psyche in this list. It's a bit strange because I don't think I've heard her sing as many. I mean, if I think about those other singers who I've mentioned, I've heard them sing quite a wide variation of different types of songs, and that's why Psyche's a difficult pick for me, because I think she could sing anything. I think she could sing really great pop as well. But I haven't heard her sing these other things, and that to me is always interesting. I mean, I guess you could say, songs like Paige were unashamedly pop in a way, but I don't know. I think with her, I'd have to hear her sing more different things. I guess you could say the same for Sue from Silent Siren as well. Now, I am going to point out, because Tim, I know you're the one who asked this question. A lot of people perhaps ask, wouldn't you put Sue from Baby Metal in that list? Now, I think Sue from Baby Metal is a fantastic singer, but I'm not 100% sure whether I would put her that high up, because that, to me, that was never what Baby Metal was for me. What Baby Metal was for me is it's everything together. It's the combination of everything together. I heard, because they did that thing which was, I think it was from the Headset, they took the recordings of Sue's vocal performances, and they isolated them, and they were just playing it a cappella, and it was really enjoyable. She did a fantastic job, but there was loads of comments from people saying, "Wow, this is the best vocal performance ever. She's the greatest vocalist ever." And I was like, "Well, actually, no. I could hear some flat notes." I was like, but I was like, at the same time, this girl's singing and dancing at the same time. I think for someone singing and dancing, what she achieved was amazing. But for me, Babymetal's always been about the larger collection of everything together. It's the theatrics, it's the size, it's the big arrangements, it's the fact that they can do things that other rock bands and other metal bands can't do. Because, other rock bands and metal bands, you're limited to what you've got. You are your band. Babymetal, it's like, you want an orchestra? Get an orchestra. Cami band, want to add a couple of members? Add a couple of members. It's like, they can just do whatever they want. Reminds me almost a little bit of, like, if you think of the pop world, reminds me a little bit of Gorillaz. Gorillaz, their whole thing was that they didn't have a set lineup. Just basically it was Damon Albarn and whoever he was working with at the time. And that's the kind of glory when you've got an arrangement like that. You can do things that other bands can't. And that, for me, is more what makes Babymetal so good. The fact that they can pull off that variation and they can kind of do anything, and none of it will ever be against them being Babymetal. Because it's written into what they are, that they have sort of carte blanche to go crazy. But yeah, on her own, she's a very good vocalist. She's certainly amazing for someone who sings and dances, but I wouldn't put her in like the very top list. So I don't know if I mentioned enough people there to totally satisfy list making. Let's have a look and see what everyone's pointing out here. Tune in every Sunday to watch some random bloke on the internet drink beers. Still my non-beating heart. Oh, Martin. I still haven't poured it, actually. Sim asked such a good question that I didn't even get around to pouring it. You know it's a good question when I don't pour my beer. Yeah, you got me on that one. Remember, award-winning beer. It's going to be horrible, isn't it? Oh, Sim says yes. Top 5 singer, Rena. Actually, yeah. She's in it. I think for me, a lot of the thing about Rena as well is I love her whole style of like performance. She was the second singer for Aldius, wasn't she? I love her whole style of performance. Thought she, again, whether I put her in there just on singing, I don't know, but again, it's kind of similar to the Babymetal thing. She's just got that she's got that ability to capture the theatrics, the stage thing. She's I think you get some of those singers where it's not even about the voice, it's just about they are they are a performer above everything else. I mean, for example, when I take someone like when I think about someone like Fuki from Unlucky Morpheus, I'm not entirely sure if I think her whole stage presence probably would actually be kind of grating to me from what I've seen before. A little bit too theatrical, a little bit too, acting it up. Whereas you get people like Sue Metal and people like Rena from Aldius, and it's like, well, no, you just their whole style is just they look natural, they look at home on stage. I think that's the thing. When you talk about a singer, are we talking about, because you mentioned Sim said vocalist, so I was just thinking what voices work for me. But yeah, when I think of someone like Sue Metal or Rena, she's got a fantastic voice, but I'm thinking more they are a stage presence as much as they are a singer for me. I am, by the way, I'm doing this all off the cuff, so I'm open to being corrected in retrospect. It don't half smell like ale, that's for sure. Oh, I love the colour though. Colour's beautiful. My whole thing about ales is usually the darker the better. I really hate pale ales, actually. It's one of the few drinks I can't stand is a pale ale. Not really getting the colour of that very good. Let's switch over to the other camera so you can see it a bit better. Is that any better? No, it's not really any better. Let's switch over to this. Is that any... That's a little bit more representative. We're not going to get any real decent colour, are we? To hell with it. It kind of looks brown. Same colour as the dog. So here we go. I've got some interesting comments coming here. I'm kind of enjoying. It's nice when we go. Fair point, says Sim. Yeah, it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. It's funny because I don't really think there's a lot of people who go, "Oh, I like this band because fantastic vocalist." I'm always one of those people who look at everything as a completed thing. So, like I say, sometimes if I pick out a band who's got my favourite vocalist, it doesn't necessarily mean it will be my favourite band, as I was saying about the whole Fuki thing. It's a very different thing liking a vocalist and liking what they fit in with. Actually, there's a lot of bands I've heard where the vocalist is so good that the music kind of tries to move out their way, and that I really hate when they do that. I'd rather have a thin singer who fits into an arrangement than an overpowered singer who everyone's just kind of like pushing them to the front and getting out of the way. What award did the beer can win? Best beer in a red and gold can. Well, certainly the can deserves an award. It was from the International Beer Cup. Beer Cup. Just a big cup of beer. There you go, International Beer Cup. I don't know if that's like genuinely international or like, you know, when America has a World Series and only invites themselves. Find myself today totally agreeing with you about Sue. She's great, but not the vocal goddess some Baby Metal fans make her out to be, says Loon. Yeah, I mean, this is the interesting... Like I say, this is a really interesting subject because, like I say, if you took Sue out and you put... Well, let's say you put Fuki in, it would just be a disaster. It wouldn't work. Her voice wouldn't work with any of the songs. She wouldn't have the sort of... She'd be sort of too... You know, too... If you're like almost too scripted in her performance. I think she's got a really... I mean, look, I love Fuki, but I'm just being totally honest here. She just wouldn't be able to sort of have that... It's funny because actually, you know, Baby Metal is scripted as a choreographed group, but... You know, just some people don't work in some things. Often, you know, horses for courses. You need the right singer. I'm not calling singers horses. That didn't go well. So let's have a look at this. Harry, what about Haruna from Scandal? Joking, I know that the Scandal girls aren't phenomenal singer vocalists. They're good but not the best, but they are the queens of harmonies. Yeah, for me, what works about Scandal is the differences between their voices. I like Haruna as a singer, but she's never been a standout singer for me. More what I think's best about... Again, like, Haruna's got a really great stage presence. She is a good singer. You know, by the way, when I say good, actually she's very good, but, you know, good when we're talking about, you know, where the bar is set very high in this particular sort of field that we're thinking of. But for me, what works is that her voice bounces against the other singers so well, and she's a very good leader. She's got a good band leader sort of feeling to her. Loon says, how do you rank Lisa? I don't know enough Lisa stuff to really give a fair assessment, but from what I've heard, her voice is absolutely fantastic. I never felt that she was quite the... You know, people talk about this being like this really unique thing. Maybe I need to hear more. I haven't really got that feeling from her yet. She's one of those singers who's kind of ubiquitous, like her music is. So I've heard a lot of it around, but... I wouldn't say I've really sat down and really focused on her music much more than just the couple of reviews we did. The one I did with Bubbles was really fun. And I did that with James, actually, didn't I? So I need to hear more. I don't want to sort of go on the record of saying anything without having really done more than just hearing her by proxy. But she seems to be someone who's really talented, but I'm yet to find out what that sort of thing is that really makes her unique. I believe she writes all her own stuff, so I kind of put her in a similar category to Oates Gray, and that I think she probably is one of those people who's more, perhaps more individual in the songs that she constructs for herself. But again, we'll find out. We'll find out. So Solitaire, spelled like a number plate. Love it. How about Miku, considering how high you put her songs in the top 25 list? Again, that's a case of suiting it. I mean, Miku, by her own admission, is not as good a singer as Psyche, because she's put herself, you know, she literally gave up the job to employ Psyche. She's a backing singer in that sense, but I do think she'd be a fantastic lead singer. I don't think that, again, personality, what makes her good as a singer is the way that she injects her own personality into the things she does. Whether that makes her a top vocalist is a difficult... Again, the question is kind of an interesting one to even broach. Does that make her a top vocalist? I don't know 100% if it does. Vocally, obviously, she doesn't have the power of most of the other people we've mentioned, but she does have a lot of style. Her singing style personally appeals to me. I actually really like her voice myself, but it's a hard one to judge. Plus, I haven't heard her on enough songs. However, the songs that she sings with Bandmate do certainly suit her voice and are certainly very much to my liking, but then again, is that a case of what's a good vocalist or just I like those type of songs. But yeah, no, it's a fair point. Absolutely fair point. She's one of those people who, if they hadn't employed Psyche and it had just been Miku, I think they would have still been an amazing band with a really great singer. But the fact that employing Psyche leveled them up, it's kind of a demonstration that they're obviously that, you know, like I like often say, being great, you can still be better. So who knows? Miku certainly has improved a lot since they first started. So maybe hearing her sing a little bit more would be kind of interesting. But fair point. For Bleaks, vocally, I like the lass from Bratz, Fuki Aina. The lass from Bratz, and then Fuki Aina. Yeah, Aina's got a wonderful voice, actually. I really like her voice, but I don't... After hearing that solo album, I was like, her voice suits a very specific style, and I think even in Bish it's used for that kind of certain mood, that certain style. She's got a really sort of brooding voice. So I don't know how versatile Aina is, but I really do love her voice. Fuki as well. The lass from Bratz is great, but I wouldn't really sort of say she's... Again, it's kind of like the Miku thing. She's really good. I wouldn't know if I'd say she's like, whoa, got to put you on my top 5 list. And as a group, Yanakota Sota Mute, yeah, they're really great actually as well. Again, nice style of... singing. All right, a lot of comments, so I've got through these. Actually, I'm going to drink some of this first of all. So while I was reading, while I was drinking. So Terry was saying about Reno's singing against the backdrop of power metal, where it shouldn't fit, but it really does. Yeah, again, that reminds me a lot of Psyche in Bandmate, because when it's funny because it slightly contradicts what I said earlier, but I hear Psyche's voice and I kind of hear a pop singer more than a rock singer, and she's clearly gone from being someone who liked pop initially to being in a rock band. She's got that singing style that sounds kind of almost like a Ayaka Junior. You know, it's that sort of powerful, sort of almost somewhere between contemporary and opera, you know, that sort of big powerful voice delivery. And I think Reno's in a similar sort of category to that, in that, yeah, you wouldn't expect it to work, but just on sheer power and quality and delivery, it just works from a quality perspective. When something's good quality, it can kind of work along anything, you know. So I kind of get that, yeah. Again, I probably should listen to more of their music to really sort of get a proper judgment on that. So don't forget Sheena Ringo, performer, actor, musician, showwoman, amazing vocalist, drop dead gorgeous, kind of humble too, in my opinion, no bias. Kind of sounds like another version of Otsukarai, but the progenitor perhaps. No, I mean Sheena Ringo, obviously, she's wonderful. Her voice, and by the way, one of the reviews I'm doing next week is the Tokyo Jihen one. I really do think she's great. I don't know whether her voice, in my opinion, is quite on the level of the other people I was mentioning. I mean, I know that Fuki's a bit of a contentious one to put in there because she's, you know, she does have perhaps certain limitations on her singing style, but I personally love the tone of her voice. I like the way that she sings. But yeah, no, yeah, that is an interesting point there. Sheena Ringo, though, is a legend for many other reasons, and I think you kind of... put it there. It's the sort of general overall, it's the fact that she's so good at so many things, you know, that she can do that. And similar way, like I say, that's what makes Otsukarai so good at what she does. I mean, apart from the fact that she's multi-talented, she uses that to construct, you know, all these different musical projects amongst other things. All right, I've got to catch up with a lot of comments coming in. So Terry once again, shouldn't I change your name? Thomas says, if you're drifting into Idol, Aina the End has some deceptive power and clarity in her singing. Absolutely, once again, mentioned her before, but I would agree. I think she's very good at singing with a style, but she definitely has a lot of power underneath a sort of usually more brooding tone. There's a lot of power clearly behind that. Scott says the difference between a great singer who is specific to a genre versus a good singer who is more versatile. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Scott. This is all just me sort of off the cuff thinking out loud, but you would be kind of right to say there's that sort of jack of all trades, master of none thing. If I'm going for someone who's versatile, does that necessarily mean they're better at anything, or are they just sort of more versatile? Is being versatile being a better singer? Or, you know, I mean, like an opera singer, you know, an opera singer doesn't do rap, but we say they're great because Pavarotti was great at doing opera, but would you really want to hear him singing Smells Like Teen Spirit? Well, actually, yes, I would want to see that, but not necessarily because it suits, just because it would be interesting. So yeah, no, you've got a good point, Scott. I mean, how versatile is versatile enough is perhaps the question. I don't like. Well, I don't want to say I don't like. I'm never so convinced by singers who always sing kind of the same thing every time, even if they're great. I want to hear a little bit of variation just to hear your voice used in more than one way. In the same way that a songwriter is a songwriter really good if they only ever write one genre. I would argue probably not. But I would be willing to hear arguments from someone saying, "Where do you draw the line? What if you do many different genres, but they're all contemporary? So why don't you do jazz?" You know, I mean, that's a very good point. Very good point, dude. Sim Loon is a certified Sufo, but don't mind him. Wait, let me go up and see what Loon's been saying. What did Loon say? Oh, he hasn't said anything yet, but he said a comment after. Do you miss the bit where I said she was great? Lee's style is really unique, but her voice is very distinctive. Interesting. Sven, hello. Hey, Sven. Welcome back, sir. Welcome. So Sim says Lisa is a songwriter as well as a great vocalist. Yeah, I kind of figured she was. It was kind of a big part of her thing, isn't it? Loon says, yeah, Ray from Bratz, I always forget her name, is a good singer. She is really great, actually, yeah. Just like I say, is really good at what she does. Don't know if I necessarily have heard enough or necessarily think that she's up on that level of wow. Just kind of like, yeah, she's good. Simpson, I like Miku, but I would never consider her an elite vocalist. Kind of, yeah, on the same area of what I was saying there. Sven says, Ichiro Yamaguchi, Sakana Action, is really an underrated singer. Of course, the voice singer of Asian Kung Fu Generation is king. That's interesting because with Asian Kung Fu Generation, I was never... Like, the vocalist is really good, but his voice never it never did anything either way for me. It was kind of, to me, his voice kind of felt like just fairly middle of the road. You know, just kind of like his voice was functional, not good, well, not bad, but not like exceptional. For me, what works about Asian Kung Fu Generation is it's more it's one of those ones where it's the band sound. It's the band sound. So, you know, it's the sound of the band together. And this is kind of a similar thing about what I was saying about Sue from Babe Metal, although I think she could work in other bands as well, and that would be really interesting to hear. Some artists just work when they've got a band that just makes it all come together. And, you know, he could do other things as well, but I think what makes his voice work is more Asian Kung Fu Generation than... If I heard him singing a cappella, I don't know if it would stand out to me. But I'm willing to be... Like I say, I'm doing this all off the cuff at the moment. The question were female vocalists. Well, so no, this wasn't about female vocalists. Obviously, a lot of you guys probably know, and this is not just me being a nice, you know, guy kind of person, but I do generally prefer female vocalists. But I have mentioned why before. This is actually something which I can put mathematical reasoning behind. It is just the fact that usually female vocalists, because it sits higher up in the register, that's preferable for me for two reasons. First of all, a lot of the instruments that we know and like naturally fit in an EQ below a female vocal or above a female vocal easier than a male vocal, which tends to sit more in a mid-range area where most of contemporary instruments actually lie. So I tend to find that most mixes with female vocals are easier to sound dynamic than with a male vocal. It's just that's the better octave to put the lead sound in. And the other thing as well is because higher pitched sounds, by the very mathematical nature of the fact they're higher pitched, contain more information because there's more waves, therefore they can be more dynamic and detailed. I know that could be seen as a real cop-out reason, but I do think it does result in female vocals tend to be more interesting and tend to fit in mixes better. So yeah, my favourite vocalists are usually female, but that's not to say I don't like some male vocalists. I know I gave a totally overly analytical answer to that, but I'm sure anyone who thinks about things the way I do will probably see why that is it's a genuine answer. I'm not just trying to blag my way out of it. I like women. It's another thing. Iris says, I need to get you some links to hearing Rina and Mami's lead vocal performances so you can get the measure of their vocals. Yeah, I've heard Rina sing. I haven't heard much of Mami, mainly as backup. I've heard Rina sing a bit, and she's got a nice voice. I kind of like the Miku thing, not overly powerful, but a nice voice. From what I've heard, of course. I mean, she's playing drums at the time, so kind of like the Sue Metal thing. Is like if you can do that and give a vocal performance, then you get kudos just for that alone. And then I mentioned Chiaki Sato of Kinoku Teikoku. Yeah, I wish I could remember that. I reviewed their music before, but I need to... I should remember that more. I do sometimes, if we only review a band once, I don't remember them enough to really go back and say, oh, I totally remember how what I felt about their vocals. Sim says Psyche is unusual in the sense that she's the lead singer but not the focal point of the band. It's one of the real qualities. I was thinking the other day, actually, the bandmate reminds me a little bit in... people are going to get angry about this, but just take it for what it is. They have an idol group quality in that they're one of the few bands I can think of where genuinely, like with a girl band, there are people who are fans of individual members, like really big fans of individual members, whilst also being a fan of the overall group as a team collaboration. I suddenly thought about it. I was like, actually, there is this weird girl band appeal about Bandmate, which is kind of strange. You know, I mean, partly down to the, you know, it's kind of the mixture of the outfits, and I think this was part of the, well, maybe not 100% intentional at first, but I think this is kind of the subconscious result of what Miku was trying to engineer when she came up with that formula for the band, and I think it worked out brilliantly. It's given them the same quality that an idol group would have, which is obviously what maids often more resemble. They're kind of seen almost like like idols in training. So it's interesting how that has rubbed off, and they've actually ended up gaining that quality in what they do. Hey guys, remember, press like. It's really appreciated. If this has been even interesting enough for you to stay for 1 minute, do press like. It's really much appreciated. It does a lot of good for us. It might only seem like a little button, but it is really good. We need it. We're not monetized. We're not on the algorithm. Helps push us up and make us a little bit more appealing to people. And we do want to get those subs back. We lost. We're still 1,000 subs behind where we were over a year ago when the last channel closed down, and although I'm not big for just pushing for subs, I do want to sort of, you know, I do want to keep on growing things, keep moving along, and I really appreciate everyone who's subbed recently, as well as all you've been here for a long time. But yeah, certainly anything you can do to help us in the algorithm, it's just a button press, and it means a lot to me and to us. Thank you. I can see a like coming in right now, so gracias. Anything like that, much appreciated. Let's have a look and see what some of the comments are as well on here. I'm talking so fast, it's blowing my mind. Ow. Miro, vocalist and vocal tone. Non-rock probably has tons of good voices. The singer Aiko from Sugar Soul has a good tone. R&B and R&B like pop probably has a lot of candidates. Yeah, that R&B like pop thing was kind of where I pulled Ayako from. I think she's exceptional, really, partly for that. When you said Aiko, I was thinking of Aiko, like the singer-songwriter Aiko. She's fantastic as well, but I wouldn't say she's exceptional. She's got a very unique voice. So Pavarotti singing Nirvana, says Martin. Clever trick. He died in 2007. Yeah, Nirvana was in the 90s. It could have happened. Obviously, I'm not expecting him to do it now. Dig him up. Sing Smells Like Teen Spirit. Sven, I like Anyan's voice tone, but the technique is not so good, and the voice is a bit thin. I really liked her in, keep on forgetting, Tenohiro, wasn't it? I really liked her in Tenohiro, but I hear her in other stuff, and it's just like, you know, the fact that she's using so much auto-tune makes it clear that she's not had enough practice. I don't think it's just a style choice that she uses auto-tune so much when she does her backing vocals. The fact that she was singing seemingly more under her own power on Tenohiro does make me think that she has come a long way. But yeah, she to me has still got a long way to go to really be on that sort of level. But I imagine with the proper training, she could be really interesting. She does have a nice voice. She does certainly have a nice voice when it comes together for her. Scott says, strangely, I find female Japanese vocalists more enjoyable than male Japanese vocalists as well. Will fit into what I was saying there, but yeah, I mean, I can see that. I don't know, is that also something you feel about Western artists? I'll see where you come across. Actually, you mentioned, I'll go skip to your next comment. There seems to be more variant in the female voices than male. Maybe I'm just not listening to the right bands. Maybe, but I think naturally, this is not a rule, but I think that there's a certain mathematical factor that you put behind it to say that female vocals should be able to have more variation than male vocals. Once again, because, you know, if they're naturally singing usually about an octave higher or whatever, you know, it's going to add a lot more frequency, a lot more area where you can put in vocal change. But anyway, that's an interesting one. Again, I kind of agree with you. I would have to think a while to really think of 100% why that was. But like I say, I think more to the mathematical reason before anything else. The technicalities. So I like reviewing things in a sort of what people say is an over-analytical way, because it does actually sometimes make you think about things that do have a real-world implication to what you think about music. Harry, I was watching a video of Taka from 1OK Rock doing a cover of Adele's Hello on my phone. A friend I was with who couldn't see my phone thought Taka was a woman based on a singing of a song. Yeah, I remember after we did the 1OK Rock thing that got us in so much trouble back in 2019, which was hilarious. So many fans were angry with us just for having a little joke, even though we said we liked the song. There were so many people saying, well, you'd appreciate it more if you checked out this song. One of the ones they mentioned was the cover of Adele. I'm going to be honest, partly because I don't think there's too many people who are that easily offended about 1OK Rock's comments. I heard his cover of Adele's Hello. Not that I'm a fan of Adele particularly anyway, but I thought his cover was really, really uninspired and dull. Not lacking talent. It had talent. It was an interesting vocal performance, but I did not feel, if I had heard that for the first time, if that was my interest to Taka, that would have, introduction to Taka, that would have probably been the last thing I'd have heard of him by then. I'd been like, this is not very inspired. I don't really care about hearing your band. However, having heard early 1OK Rock, I actually know more about why I like what he does. So yeah, it's interesting what some people find to be his more inspiring moments to me are not his more inspiring, but then you show me stuff like his earlier stuff, and that to me is much more inspiring. I lost 2 viewers during making that comment, which is really interesting. So let's have a look and see what people are saying. Scott, oh no, I already read that. Martin, I kind of agree with Scott. Male vocalists can sound quite similar, mid-range, slightly breathy. The breathy thing is obviously more down to your own style. Oh, I got 1 viewer back. It's because I stopped saying those terrible things. The breathy thing obviously is more a style thing, but the mid-range thing kind of true. And I think also, like I say, it's interesting how that is kind of true. There is a lot of variation in male vocalists. I just think that there are technical reasons why female vocalists can be more varied. But still, it's a difficult one. I mean, that I don't think it really makes or breaks what's good music. Oh, I got all those viewers back. Okay, maybe everyone's not so angry for the terrible things I was just saying. So Sven says, Inyan, auto-tune with backing vocals? What? Can't remember. Have you, so soon one of the Sci lives I sent you, then you see what they done to Sue's voice. Yeah, no, I get that. The live stuff and the Silent Siren stuff is, yeah, they do stuff which I think it doesn't, some of the live stuff is really great, but sometimes they do live shows where just the production seems to really not, it's like they can perform fine without all of that stuff that seems to be layered on top of their live performances sometimes. So yeah, I do kind of agree. Like Silent Siren, their live shows really do depend on who's engineering what is done. Because sometimes they have weird effects that they don't need. Sometimes the mixing's really off. Sometimes they use recorded layers, but then sometimes you just hear them play straight live and they're brilliant. So I wonder why that is. But I've got some theories, but I wouldn't wish to presume. There's too many possibilities. So Sim says Taka is great from 1OK Rock. Yeah, I have a very difficult time with the whole Taka thing because, like I say, I don't dislike 1OK Rock. In fact, I like a lot of their early stuff quite a lot, and they do have some recent stuff which isn't too bad. I did mention, I'm not going to go too much into this rabbit hole again, but I will mention that obviously everyone was, not everyone, but a lot of people were raving about the most recent 1OK Rock song. And I remember saying, there's so many things about this that I love, and yet so many things about it that I absolutely hate at the same time. And that's the difficult thing, is for me, 1OK Rock have gone into this area with this, okay, everything had a counter. It's it was really beautifully produced, but at the same time, it had very little musical nuance. It was very, very catchy, but at the same time, it was very, very generic. The performance that he gave was really impassioned, but at the same time, the lyrics were really, really disingenuous. Well, okay, I'll be careful. Not so much disingenuous, it's just they felt like they were trying to be more meaningful than they actually were. It was a song of two sides for me. It was not convincing, and yet there were loads of things in it that I really liked. And that's kind of where they've gone to with me. It used to be there was loads of songs by theirs that I really enjoyed, and now they're in that place where for everything they do, which is good, there's something. The one with Ed Sheeran, that's the one. And it's what made it worse is I've got Ed Sheeran's actually exactly the same for me as Taka, exactly the same. When Ed Sheeran first came along, I was like, yeah, this is cool. pop music had become so plastic at the time. I was like, Ed Sheeran, this is interesting. It's more salt of the earth. You know, he's going to do poppy songs. You know, some of them quite catchy, but you know, at the same time, they're going to have a little bit of personality, real musicianship, a little bit of, you know, flavor and honesty to them. And then there was, I can't remember which album it was, but it was the one that had Shape of You on it. And when that song came out, I was like, okay, this is just, it's making me cringe. It's really repetitive. It's boring. It's not interesting. I was like, where did it go? And there was a couple of good songs on that album, because I did that. My friend, one of my Japanese friends, was really into Ed Sheeran at the time, and she played me that album, and there's some good songs on there. But as a general, the album was just like, and you could tell by the songs that they put forward as singles that this is what they wanted him to be doing. And whether that was his, well, clearly he's comfortable enough with it that he carried on doing it. And now it's like, you know, it's just kind of become terribly generic and boring, and he hasn't done anything of interest in my opinion since then. Well, not think I've heard. And so that was kind of the interesting conundrum, and to me that's kind of gone into a similar territory to the Taka thing, in that I think of Taka from One OK Rock, I think of Ed Sheeran, I think of two people who have definitely got talent, but who the stuff they're doing now, it kind of feels like they're I want to be careful, because I did that whole video where I was talking about the concept of selling out and how I don't think selling out is a real thing, and I actually use One OK Rock as an example of why they haven't really sold out, like, although people say they sold out. But what I feel they have done is I feel they've gotten to a place where they're comfortable with the fact that whatever they do, they're popular, so they can kind of, there's riding a bit of the ego. And I don't know how deep that goes, but I think I mean, something's got to be resulting. Oh, maybe it's just that they're so rich they haven't got anything interesting to say anymore. You know, you can be so famous that real world doesn't affect you and you run out of inspiration. That was something I think I covered in that video as well. You know, that's what happened, I think, to U2. You know, not that I was ever massively against or for U2, but you know, they started off with a lot of promise, and then they went into that generic zone where they were still doing some good songs, you know, nice little catchy songs and stuff, but the feeling, it didn't feel very inspired anymore. And it felt more like, oh, you know, now we're talking about big issues, and it didn't always feel necessarily like they really knew what they were talking about. And that's kind of, yeah, in a way, I kind of felt like that Ed Sheeran One OK Rock song felt a bit like a U2 thing. You know, like, okay, it's catchy, you did a good pop song here, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm buying the grandeur that you're selling. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, but it's an interesting topic, definitely. So let's move on to a couple of other comments, and we'll come around to that if anyone wants to challenge anything I said there. Like I said, I'm just kind of talking off the cuff here. Sven says, Sack in Action is good live. I mean, you can enjoy 7.1 Dolby stereo. I remember when Bare Naked Ladies did that as well. I was like, this is really interesting, but totally meaningless. Doesn't really work in music. Surround sound doesn't work. You have 2 ears for a reason. No, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I haven't really checked out much Sack in Action, but I know it's been mentioned a few times, so that is one I want to get round to eventually. Sim says, they're trying to be a very Western. They actually left Amuse to get better representation and distribution overseas. I can believe that, and like I said, I'm all for that, you know. I'm all for them. If they want to go that route, that's their choice, and I'm 100% for that. I do genuinely believe that they enjoy and love doing that. I believe that they love the sort of Western culture. I believe that they love those sounds. I believe they love working those artists. I mean, the fact that Taka has worked with so many high-profile Western artists just kind of shows how much he's enjoyed it. He loves it. He's really genuinely into it. I think it's, for me, and this is not me sort of being anti-Western or anything, I just feel like the things he's taken from Western music have been ultimately the more kind of like a generic pastiche of Western music. It feels like I say, it feels like in his effort to do something that he, admittedly, I'm sure he loves and he's really into, it feels like it feels like he hasn't been using his own inspiration. He's just been more sort of doing the things that he's heard that he liked, you know. Like when a musician copies the music they loved growing up, it can be very interesting, but it doesn't necessarily tap into the best of them. You need to have a mixture of that and some inspiration. It just, like I said, it just doesn't feel inspired to me. It feels like he's enjoying it, but then doesn't feel inspired. Sven, I listened to the first 8 songs of the newest One OK Rock album, and it's... That's an opinion. I'm going to leave that opinion there. I don't know, but the fact that you followed it by 2 retracted messages is something that I'm going to leave that where it is. Valid opinion. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I'm not commenting, but thank you for leaving that. Sim says that's what happened to Arctic Monkeys too. I can imagine that. I completely. I was never big into them anyway, but I lost interest after like the first album. So I think the rest of the world did too. Martin, if your voice isn't grabbing Howard's attention, make a music video featuring Gravy. I've got to point out, I don't think that was Gravy because, as I pointed out before, as I loved that comment by the way, and I'm 100% for it. And they were using a gravy boat, but I don't think it was gravy. I think it was demi-glace sauce. The Japanese tend to use demi-glace sauce, as English people at least would use dark gravy. They do have like the chicken gravy here, but anyone who's had chicken gravy, it's not gravy in the way that an English person would talk about gravy. So yeah, I'm almost sure that what they were actually using was demi-glace sauce, but still, I can imagine it as gravy. And Otsukarai drinking gravy is a weird fetish that I am more than happy to continue keeping in my mind. Thank you, Martin. Loon says surround sound works amazingly well with music. I think it works with classical music. Surround sound works well with classical music. I don't think, to me, it never worked with contemporary music. I remember, you guys know, so I'm not going to bore you with a story. A friend of mine growing up, who was running, sort of from his own home, was running a really high-end audio company, and I went to audio shows with him and all kinds of stuff, and we sat in these like multi-thousand-pound sound rooms listening and sampling music. It was fantastic. And that was around about the time so around about 2004, probably about 2007, 2008, when the stereo music experiment was really taking off before it kind of stopped. And, for the live stuff, it's interesting because you can hear the crowd behind you and the music in front of you. For the studio stuff, it tended to sound muddled and, the sound sounded separated in a way that wasn't really beneficial. It's hard because you need to have a core for a lot of contemporary music, and it's hard to sort of have that core with a surround sound arrangement. Where do you put the bass? And if you put it at the front, it makes the back sound thin. And if you put it to both, it makes it sound unnatural. And it's very weird and hard to do because it makes everything sound more sparse, which again works with stuff like classical music. But contemporary music, I've got to admit, I've never really heard of an example that particularly worked. Maybe people have got better at it now, but not so much. I never really heard that. But interesting point, very interesting point nonetheless. Good one to come back to when maybe got more time. Sven says, hey, Second Action makes catchy music and have a keyboard player, but it's not Yukaron. See, you had me right up to the last bit. Maybe. It's, like I said, it's one that's definitely we're going to come around to. Scott says, going to throw Akai Cohen into the conversation again. As I've said, I really like their material with the second vocalist, Riko Ishino. I respect and enjoy the music with original lead singer Chiaki Sato, and I think she has a great voice, but I still like the Riko era better. I gotta admit, I know Akai Cohen's one of those ones I should listen to more of. It seems so sad now that there's a sort of a tragic story connected to it, but perhaps should, when I get a bit of time, go back to know. I think probably one of those ones I'll probably listen to for my own pleasure. They're a good example, says Scott, of changing their style to fit the vocalist rather than squeeze a new vocalist into their style. Yeah, that's an interesting one though, isn't it? I think you need a certain type of band who are able to do that kind of thing. For Bleats, I have some superb surround sound albums. Trick is not to overdo things. I get what you're saying. Like I say, I'm yet to hear one that convinces me. Classical, yes. Classical, 100%. Surround sound, amazing. I'm yet to hear a contemporary album that does that for me. But that's absolutely fine. Like I say, I would be interested to be corrected on that, and maybe there is an album out there that will prove it wrong to me. Just never really hear it. It always sounds unbalanced because with contemporary music, like I say, it's that core. It's very hard to cement a good core to the sound in surround sound. Like I said, I'm just saying from my experience, but good experience when it first came out, but I haven't been regularly checking up on it, so I could well be subsequently corrected. Sim says, tell us how you really feel, Sven. Lol. Lude says, you have to watch the Eagles Hell Freezes Over DVD, mixed in 5.1. It's jaw-droppingly good. Again, live I can imagine, because live is a very different thing. Doing a good live recording is very different from doing studio on quadraphonic sound, says Scott. Yeah, again, live is different. Yeah, live I can imagine would be better than stereo. Studio, I'm not so convinced. Like I say, you have a different expectation from live. You expect to be transported to a location and an experience. Whereas with normal contemporary music, you expect to have a sort of core that really just hits and fills all the spaces in your ears and just sort of really, it's a very different thing you're going for with a studio recording. But again, like I say, this is just from what I know. That still, I would be surprised, but willing to check it out. If someone can show me a good surround sound studio recording, I'm willing to give a few a try. Absolutely. Harry says, and the Gravy music video doesn't even need music. The GMIV will provide his own Bish Bish sitting down to eat. Yes, Gravy Bish. Greetings from Montreal. I fell asleep, lol. Thanks, Fernando. I know I have that effect on people. So yeah. It's true. If anyone wants to send me a video which they want, maybe that can be something we can do. You guys can send me videos that don't have any music and ask me to put music to them. That actually sounds quite fun. I would enjoy that. Now, as we are crawling up to 1 hour and we still haven't addressed one of the main issues here, things to do. We know what we're doing for 700 subs. What are we going to do for 800, 900 and 1,000? Guys, can you give me some suggestions? I would love to know what you guys think about it. So before we run out of time, we're not going to run out of time, but before I get too sleepy, this would be an interesting one to move on to. So guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to skip to quickly going through the magazine for today. Let's have a look at this. While I'm doing this, guys, be giving me your suggestions for was it 800, 900 and 1,000 subs. All right, so I'm going to move over to this, and then when I come back over to the conversation, hopefully I'll see some really awesome suggestions. So, let's see what we've got. So, on the cover today, we have got Polka Dot Stingray featuring quite possibly the most I glued this onto my face looking beard I've ever seen in my life. That's not... No. It kind of looks like he shaved, and then, he put some aftershave on his face, and he leant down too close to the sink, and some of it stuck back on him again. So anyway, yeah, this is Polka Dot Stingray, as always, looking very, very fashionable, even if slightly strange. So yeah, their music has been rather copyright heavy, but obviously with our new format we can check that out. So I might be checking out some Polka Dot Stingray sometime soon. As I say, these days I'm looking for bands who I can really say stuff about, make the reviews interesting as possible. Got some interesting stuff here. Wow, now that is a look. Does anyone know Psycho Lasem? Oh, jeez. I've got respect for that. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I've got respect for that. This poor guy here is just looking chilled like, I cannot compete. I cannot compete with what's going on that page. Let's have a look here. Anything interesting on this page? Not so much. There we go, yeah. Some folks who are touring. Have a little look, maybe something interesting that you guys know. So there are some interesting things here. This guy looks very wholesome, doesn't he? He looks like the sort of person who you'd be happy for your daughter to bring home. What we got here? Jenny High. Okay, Jenny High. Again, this is not one of those groups who just their image. If they put as much effort into their music as their image, then I'm sure they're going to be amazing. The Beat Garden. This kind of sounds like a strange DJ evening. Wow, this guy... dude, heavy. That image is a bit much for me. I do wonder if he's genuinely Christian or if he's just appropriating their culture. What we got here? Another wholesome looking guy. These folks, Music Fighter. So, yeah, okay. Music Fighter. Are you like fighting against music? I mean, that's firefighter fights against fighter after all. So after fire, you don't know. So Uru is back, as is Real. Is it just me, or is Real always showing a surprising amount of knee? Anyway, Real installation concert. I don't know if this is one of her going artsy things that she likes to do, but we'll find out for sure. What else is going on? I am flicking through the magazine. I know you're just looking at a wall right now, but I'm looking through because I've got to that middle bit where it's just mainly adverts and stuff that isn't really interesting to anyone who is into music very much. So I'm going to skip through that. See what we've got here. Yeah, mainly adverts again. So do you want to look at the wall, or do you want to look at the top of my bald head? Because at the moment you're looking at a lot of adverts in this. Okay, here we go. members of boy bands, not exactly the most exciting thing in the world. Oh yeah, we've finished all the subtitles I'll be doing. I think I mentioned some of you guys in the Discord. We've pretty much finished now with stuff we need to do that video of my visit to Tokyo where I was talking to street musicians, so that'll be coming up sometime soon. There was a boy band involved in that who were like giving out their leaflets on the street, so I'm really looking forward to basically that really kind of strange stuff that happened there, but kind of cool as well. Interesting to meet those guys. They're a rather wholesome looking girl band there. Karangu Shriva. Katakana looks so weird. Anyway, there you go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop back over and see what you guys suggested for the challenges. So, mine says you didn't miss much. It was mostly hashtag no bias. It's mostly hashtag meaning waffle. Thank you. Oh yeah, it does. It does look like a waffle. Yeah, very true. Talking of live music, says Rev, why do bandmates online live shows seems to struggle with mixing when they start? I don't know. It's a fair question. There's no good reason for that. So, Sven mentions the Koino Espa dance. That would be kind of cool because that's a long one to do. That's not a short one. I could do it like Bandmade and just sort of chop out the majority of it. I know there's a full-length version of that video somewhere, and I'd love to see it. But maybe I could do the Koino Espa. But maybe there's just a dance for each one. The number of beers you drink at each level. That's just encouraging me to do something that I would probably do anyway. Still no Bollocks magazine. I don't really feel like going into a shop and buying Bollocks. Plus, every time I go to the shop here, Bollocks is never on sale. So, bring the meme back. Hashtag no bride here till 1000. That's an interesting one. Maybe I could tell you what. If I organise, if I do manage to get an interview with Bride here, I can. Because that's something that you might know from Discord. We've been talking about maybe trying to arrange an interview with Bride off the back of their recent album. They haven't been getting the publicity I think they deserve, and a lot of people have been pointing that out. So if we can, maybe we'll do a Bride interview 1000. Who knows? Rev says it looks like a band sponsored by Opal. They did. That's quite true actually. I like that. Harry, 800 subs. The next instalment of Bake Broadcast was a genuine one. That's quite good. Martin, 900 subs. Drink local beer on Hokkaido, Honshu, Kyushu, and Shikoku all in one day. Just beware gunshots over Kyushu. Okay, that's an interesting one. So, just maybe drink all of them. Maybe get drunk on live stream, and do something which will completely destroy the reputation of the channel forever. That's an interesting one. Oh, Genie High, you have reviewed them, right? I think I did actually. Yeah, I did. I have to go back and. Damn, it's one of those ones that was from a while ago. I did actually. You're right. Oh, that's bad if I don't remember them. I have to find. It's always good if it's something like that. I always have to find the video that I actually reviewed. I'll go back there. Find the review I actually did and try to get my memory back on it. So yeah, I read it as Jenny High. But so Sim says 1000 subs. Go to the nearest Konbini bollock naked. Oh, okay. So now we know what Sim wants to see. Maybe that should just be a Patreon perk. No, I don't want to lose my visa. But you know what? That would be something I would genuinely do if my visa wasn't at stake. Just because I'm so bored living in the countryside. I am, by the way, I'm doing a Tokyo trip at the end of this month, just so you know. So when I go to do that visit to Tokyo, there'll be more content, and also I'll be working on the little mini documentary I told you guys I was making, where I'll be talking to a Japanese, I want to say girl band, but they're basically a woman band. They're a band of like sort of women in their 30s and 40s who basically got together to do their own girl band. They've been around for quite a few years. And they do live streams, they publish all their stuff, and it's really interesting because you can tell they're just sort of like normal people. There's no big attempt to get famous or anything. They're just kind of doing it for their own pleasure. And I thought that'd be a really interesting subject to sort of like speak to the individual members, talk to them, show some of their music, and really get into the psychology of people who love, because pop we often think of such a sort of a thin surface level genre, but you know these people love pop so much that they're doing pop just to enjoy it. You know, they've got their choreography, they've got their stuff, and they literally do like choreographed shows busking in Ueno Park. So they're a really interesting one. I will be talking to them, but that's something I'll be doing during the Tokyo visit. Just thought I'd mention that to you guys. Scott says 1,000 subs. Promise not to dress up as a maid or a ladybird. I'll point out I am never going to do that. That's something that I never want to do. I've got to be honest. Maybe people can put this down to something weird about me, but every time I see ladybird, it just makes me feel a little bit grossed out. Just me. So I promise you that's something I will never do. For these, Genie High is a kind of super group of entertainers plus Tricots vocalists. They did a track featuring Aina too. That's interesting. Okay, I'm going to have to pay them more attention than I obviously did. Loon, showing me maybe he has... maybe. Is real related to Alan... I'm sure that joke's so obvious that I don't get it. They're practically twins, says Nagin. I am so confused. Spencer's and guitarist of Genie High is the singer and guitarist of Gesu no Kiwami Otome Indigo La End. Okay, so mine says 750 subs, dress up, school uniform, made up pink fluffy jumper. Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest. Yeah, I'm not inclined. Dress up stuff is expensive, and I'm not particularly sure it's funny. I know it would be kind of like the instant haha, but like I said, I don't think it doesn't suit me. I don't think I would do it. not because I mean, it's like one of those things where if it was genuinely something that was hilarious, then I'd do it. But I think it'd just kind of be me switching on the camera going hi. And then I don't think that would necessarily result in much of a laugh. It would just kind of be slightly, make me look a little bit like, what the hell am I doing? So, and like I say, maid outfit after seeing the dude from Lady Baby kind of grosses me out every time I see that. And I got a lot of hair, so you don't want to see that. Not here. Harry says live reaction, live stream, bandmade, live stream style. Okay, you use the word live a lot in that sentence. I'm not really sure how that sentence is supposed to... Live reaction, live stream, bandmade, live... So you mean like a marathon stream, but I don't know what you're trying to ask me to do. So maybe clarify. Thank you, Harry. Sven, when you go to Tokyo, listen to Regal Lily's Tokyo. No. Harry, live performance reaction, live stream, that is. Live performance reaction. So you mean me... Well, again, I'm not going to do streams where you can hear music. And even showing the video could get it blocked. So I'm not 100% sure if that's something I could even do, really, is it? Plus, like I say, I think if I do like live stuff, a lot of the responses are going to kind of be the same unless they're really hilariously interesting performances or something really wow. A lot of it's going to be me saying the sort of stuff I usually say. And if it's a song I've already heard, then a lot of the comments are going to be very similar. If it's songs that I haven't heard, then I'm just going to be regretting that I hadn't listened to a studio version. So I like the idea, but I'm not sure that would particularly carry. Maybe if we can think of some way of altering that to make it work better. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. Martin, 800 subs match the picture to the subscriber. Guessing correctly, and you drink. Then you can all join in with the guessing. Problem is, if I do that, then the more we get into the game, the more I'm going to be deliberately choosing wrong. Okay, maybe some sort of refined drinking game. Maybe we could combine a drinking game with a live performance review thing and see how that comes out. Sven, I think maybe we could do something where people just give me links and put it in chat, and then we agree on the link, and then we all go put that open that thing in a separate player, and then I talk about it, and we all listen to it together. So we could do Harry's idea somehow like that, maybe. I think you've reviewed the Genie track with Aina the End, says Sven. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and check it. So I'll have a little look and see. Alan, Mr. Moist from Decodec. Oh, I already forgot his name. That's pretty fucking embarrassing. He's just Moist Man to me now. Moist Man. Guys, take that to his page. Every time you comment to him or talk to him in live stream, call him Moist Man. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. I'm sure he'll be fine and see it as just a joke. He does seem like the sort of guy who can take a joke for an extended period of time. So I'm looking forward to seeing how far I can flog this dead horse. And again, maybe you can play some live street music and see who stops to have a listen. Oh, you mean so I can actually busk? Yeah, because I mean I did busking years ago. And I did some busking in, as you guys know, I did lots of busking in Sapro. If you've seen my walk and talk around Sapro video, you'll know that. So yeah, actually that sounds like a fun idea. Not sure where I'd do it in Tokyo. I have to check the law on it again. Don't want to do anything that affects my visa, but still, I do think that'd be a good idea. I know a lot of people who do perform on the streets in Tokyo, therefore, why the hell not? Scott says dressing up may make you lose subscribers. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, man. Angron, the angriest boy. Is there a way? That's quite a title you've given yourself there. Is there a way to import one of those Bandmade Zippos? I've found them on eBay, but they're $500 to $1,000. The problem is, as SJ was saying to me during the video, because they've all been sold now, they've got resale value, which means they're worth a lot more now. Plus, shipping them overseas is difficult. Your best bet is actually to come to the country and meet the seller and buy it, but even then, it's still going to cost you a lot of money. I don't myself know of a cheap way of getting hold of them, and I would be suspect if you found anywhere cheap as to how genuine it was. Then again, I don't imagine that's the sort of thing people are really producing knockoffs of, but I'll be honest with you, I think you're going to struggle to find a cheap one. I do, but you know, I mean, it's a real solid piece of merch. It's the sort of thing that's going to last you. It's not going to get worn out. So $500, if you found one for $500, it might even be worth it. If you found one that you actually wanted, if you got like a favorite member or something like that, and you found it for $500, it's going to be with you forever. It almost feels like that's worth the investment. $1,000 feels a bit much, but $500. Plus, if you combined it with a holiday to Japan, I don't know if you're in Japan, I'm assuming, just by law of averages, you're probably not. If you combine it to a trip to Japan, you can make it your big ending moment for your holiday to pick up your lighter. So, yeah, that's a difficult one, but good luck is all I can really say. Good luck to you, mate. Sven, 800 subscribers, Howard has to release the secret base video or a bear kills him. I was fine with that until the bear kills him bit. That's a little bit harsh, but okay, maybe that's a fair one. If people want that, then yeah, like I said, I kind of abandoned that after all of the problematic stuff that came about the first time I tried to do it, and people were not happy with me for delaying that, so I kind of just went, all right, I'm just not going to talk about this. I'm going to put it to one side, and I'll come back to it later. But yeah, that might be something like with the Bride Ear thing, because it was talked about so much, might be worth mentioning that. I thought of a really good one for the 1,000 subs. Korea video. Wait a second. Let's do this properly. Korea video. Just saying. Bandmade live stream style, meaning you listen to the song and we listen to our own like you did. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, actually in that case, absolutely. But I think that'd be kind of fun. Maybe this time is doing it something where we all talk about it together and we choose the links. And then maybe actually that's quite a good idea. I like that. Yeah, okay, no, so, but I wouldn't limit it to just live stuff, maybe. I would want to think of an interesting remix. Like I said, the only problem with doing it only on live stuff is I honestly don't know if I would be able to produce much in the way of interesting stuff. Maybe if it was only crazy live stuff like the one that made Bubbles go mad, maybe me and Bubbles could do the stream together. You could bring Bubbles in and me and Bubbles could do a return to our live, because when we did the live week thing before, although you guys enjoyed some of them, the ones that people enjoyed the most and got the most views and likes were the ones with me and Bubbles, just because Bubbles responding to live shows is brilliant, and with me giving him musical context. So maybe that would be something. Me and Bubbles check out live shows, the craziest live shows you guys can throw at us, with a limit of 7 minutes per video, just to stop you sending me 15-minute videos like you guys did last time. Martin, 1,000 subs, run the Don't Let Me Down route through Tokyo landmarks. If you can do it all before it ends, do it again in 6-inch. That's kind of cool, although it was, from what I remember, it was filmed in kind of like really weird. It was like all very much in 2 set locales, so maybe running from one to the other. That'd be kind of fun, actually. I might do that. It's kind of fun. I'm currently experiencing issues getting a lighter from Japan, says Ray. They want me to ship it domestically Yes, this was the same problem that SJ had. This is why SJ had to come over here. Shipping lighters out of the country is an issue. To be fair, even if you sent it to me, I can't guarantee I'd be able to export it to you. It might be very expensive and I might have to get a special shipping deal. But I might look into that for you guys and see if I can find something out. But then again, you guys would, I know I'm trustworthy, but you'd have to trust me to take your delivery and then send it on to you. So in a way, I would feel a little bit kind of nervous about doing that. But maybe there's something we can work out if I find out more. Martin, 1001 subs, eat sweet corn. No. In the bear enclosure. More Kuma. Hashtag more Kuma. Everything you just said is a no, not going to happen. No, seriously, I'm not being funny. If I even smell sweet corn, it's not a case of I would eat it if it was a challenge, but I will literally just puke everywhere, and it won't be able to get in my mouth. I'll puke on it all, and I won't be able to even eat it. It's literally my reaction to it is that strong. I wouldn't be able to get it even in my mouth. It's not a case of thinking it's gross. It's just that I have a physical reaction to it. I mean, I don't know, but can you be allergic to sweet corn? Because I would assume the reaction is so strong that I might be allergic to sweet corn. I don't know, but it would never even. It would be physically impossible for me to do it. I'd just be vomit everywhere. So, thank you for the idea, but it's not going to happen. And as for bears, they literally kill you. You might not know that. By the way, for anyone who didn't see on Backer Bits, go to the Backer Bits channel after this if you haven't already. I posted a video which was me looking. I was on a jog. I was doing some work, and I decided to do a little jog between two of the work locales. And I went through a park locally, and the warning signs, it had this really happy sign showing the local area and loads of warning signs for different ways you can die. So check that out. If you're not already subbed to Backer Bits, please do. We post all the funny, because the channel, we try to keep it professional. Backer Bits is where we post all the crazy stuff that isn't really good to put on the main channel. So just like my videos of stuff I do locally, little clips of old things that were really kind of hilarious that you'd have to really dig through the back catalogue to ever find again. There's some really awesome stuff on there, and I'm really enjoying that. I try to keep updated with stuff for every now and then, but believe me, that will always be going, because every now and then I think of something funny, or I take something funny, I go, that's got to go on Bits. So that channel will always be uploaded. By the way, if you haven't pressed like, please do, much appreciated. And after this, we'll be going over to Discord. We should have actually finished about 17 minutes ago, but I've got a few more comments to read, and then I'll round this one off. And try a proxy services, Harry. Fair point. And again, okay, I've got to run and show my friend how to change a car tyre. Sad that's some kind of magic skill these days. You're going to be one of those people who you're going to be like really like sort of mansplaining it to him. Like, oh God, I can't believe you can't do this. Yeah. You want to try jacking up the car first? You're going to be like that, aren't you? Good luck again. Right, I asked them to take out the Flint and ship the case, but my support is drunk. To be honest, when it comes to sellers, if they're a seller from Japan, that kind of thing, they tend not to be very flexible. They feel like, I'm breaking the rules. You tend not to get that kind of support from Japanese sellers, I'll be honest with you. But it's worth a try, always worth asking at very least. Harry is right though, proxy services might be a good idea. He says to Martin, dress as a bear while eating sweet corn and French baguette. If I could find an affordable bear outfit to eat a French baguette, that might be on the cards. Not eating sweet corn, you don't want to see a vomiting bear, no one needs that. Scott says, and again, make sure you say ta-da. Absolutely, brilliant advice. Oh my God, there's so many comments. Oh my God, it's doing that thing again where it's, stupid chat thing doesn't show me what's going. So I missed like loads of comments. Really sorry about that. Okay, guys, we're going to start. I'm coming towards the close now, so let's try and slow down the comments a little bit so I've got a chance to catch up with them. Sorry, I'm a long way behind. Actually, only about one page behind. So Angron says, that's unfortunate. I really like Misa and Psyche's. I'm planning to go to Tokyo for 10 days when it's cool. Nonsense is... Oh, yeah, when this nonsense is over. That's the best way to do it. Obviously, make sure if you're only in here for 10 days, make sure that you line everything up in advance. But That's good. Maybe find two sellers and go visit them both, maybe, or something like that. But I think that's definitely the way I would do it if I was you. Especially if you're planning to visit, then just throw it all together. Sven retracted the message. Again, I should bring a smoke bomb to set off too. It's some pyrotechnics when it's finished. Can't wait to see Korea video in 2022. Well, if that's when we get to 1,000 subs, actually, I think that's kind of a good one. Maybe Korea video for 1,000 subs is kind of fun. The Wonder reaction 800 or 900 subs. Again, that one's dependent on when I've had a chance to really dive into the scandal stuff, but I'm all for that. Harry, lol. Sven, Sai, Love Shiru review at 800 subs. That's not a bad idea. To be honest, I want to do more of the album reviews for Scandal and Silent Sorrow, and that was a project that's been sort of gestating for quite a while, but I really want to carry on with those, so I might do some of them soon. It's just there always seems to see so many things now to do videos about, which is great, but it doesn't mean I don't want to keep on doing those videos, so I'll go back to them hopefully soon. Harry says, new service, Backup Proxy. Yeah, from out here in my field. If it's something where I can really help someone, then certainly I'll give it some thought. Angron says, what's up with Japanese sizes being so small? No band I like aside from Bandmade ever carries American XL. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think American sizes are kind of different from a lot of the rest of the world anyway. And Japanese sizes as well are very much on the small side. That's a difficult one, actually, because, I mean, I have quite large clothes a lot of the time, but also I'm too tall for most things in Japan. I can't buy it here. I can't buy hats that fit. I can't buy any shoes that fit me here. There are no shoes that fit me. If I buy a pair of gloves, they're invariably always too small, so I don't even bother with gloves anymore. Shirts are always a little bit on the tight side, which is why I tend to get these sort of elasticated ones. It's kind of a Japanese way, but I know America, they tend to like have sizes from like non-existent all the way up to like sort of just, you could have a marquee underneath it, but it's not really so universal, unfortunately. I think if they don't have your size, then the best thing for me, I mean, this is what I say, because I'm in kind of a similar position, is I would go ahead and just get the artwork, download it, and print your own. I'm not saying that, but if they literally do not sell the product you want, then there's no harm in making it, because it's not like you're cheating them, they're just not selling what you want. You're still advertising if you wear their shirt, whether you made it or not. Sim, have you ever had a close encounter with a bear? I had an encounter where I saw a bear across from the field, and they moved very fast, and it started moving towards me. I was like, I'm out of here. That was my closest encounter with a bear, and I never want to have one again. And the zoo. Harry, thank you for dropping the Back a Bits link. Much appreciated. Like I say, guys, sub to that if you haven't already. If you just kind of like seeing the kind of off-the-wall stuff we do, that's a great one. Scott, do Japanese t-shirts run small? Yes. Howard, do you like popcorn? No. It doesn't have the smell problem, but it still tastes pretty gross. And making it sticky doesn't make it better. So, yeah, no, I don't like popcorn. American size is teeny tiny all the way to a 10. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much right. All right, guys, I'm going to round this one off now. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Like I say, two things to consider. Thank you, by the way, for the really cool suggestions. I was trying to think of some cool stuff for 800, 900, and 1,000 subs. 700, I am already preparing the dance and the video that goes with that. So when we get to 700 subs, you will get to see that, and it should be funny. I think I can nail it. I hope I can nail it. I will be wearing my clothes, though. I'm not dressing as a maid. So, yeah, like I say, big thank you to everyone for your really cool inputs there. It's been a really interesting conversation. Really enjoyed it. I want to say as well, please do sub to the Back a Bits channel if you want to see, like I say, some crazy off-the-wall stuff. And do follow us to the Discord link if you want to keep on having the conversation. As always, that's where the after party is, because this has been such a party. Anyway, so enjoyed this bit. Going to dive into the next one now. Big thank you to you all. Thank you for dropping the Baka Binge channel link as well. Baka Binge, if you're into your Japanese foods, then co-founder James is obviously running that as well, which is awesome. See you later, Sim. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to have you here. Really great to have you here as well. By the way, Sim, just in case you didn't know, I am doing, and for everyone, I'm actually going to be interviewing Neon Reaper in one day. So I'm getting my own back on him. and I will be interviewing him, and hopefully we'll be having a really great laugh just like last time. So that will be another one of the podcasts coming up sometime soon. Also, hopefully we'll be drawing into loads of different subjects, but also a little bit of Babe Metal chat as well, which is going to be quite fun, I'm sure. Also, I've done the Undead Corporation with Ankimos. Says Angron, Howard, you don't do Howard, that you don't like popcorn is a good opinion. More of this. Thank you, thank you to Sven. Ray, see you, Howard. Thanks for the stream. Always a pleasure, mate. You have a good one as well. And thank you for joining. Thank you to all of you for joining as well. Angron included. It's nice to see some people around here we don't often see, so really great to have you. Sven, bye-bye. Bye-bye to you too, actually. Every time I see someone write bye-bye like that, it reminds me of the Oatscry song Bye-Bye, because I've been thinking about Oatscry a lot since that last video that I did. But yeah, she's got a really cool song called Bye-Bye, which was off of the album Love Letter, which was her kind of chilled out album at the time, at least. See you, Space Cowboys. Martin, you too. Nice system. Indeed. Alright, guys, lots of love to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I say, come join us across on Discord. I'll be there in a minute. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, thank you to you all. Thank you to our patrons. Thank you for everyone who's here. And ciao, ciao. Oh, it's the bog roll. Oh, no. All right, take care, everyone.